Wikipedia. I use it. All right. I use it consistently for information. But here's a very interesting study by the Media Research Center, conservative group, but accurate group. We've been using them for years here, and I've never had to retract anything they printed. So Media Research says that Wikipedia cites left-wing outlets 20 times more than right-wings when delivering information. Okay, here's the conclusion. MRC researchers searched all languages of Wikipedia, November 18th and 19th this year, to determine how many times the editors cited each of the right, center, lean left sources that appear on the publicly available all sides media bias chart. Overwhelmingly, it's left wing. New York Times cited more than 1 million times. Highest for the conservative movement, Fox News, 126,000 times. There are the numbers. So you can see that it's just way out of line. So when people who don't know that Wikipedia is doing this go to Wikipedia, they're getting left-wing information most of the time. Joining us now from Herndon, Virginia, is Tim Graham, the executive editor of Newsbusters and a member of the Media Research Center. Why is this important? I mean, I know I use Wikipedia just to look stuff up. I'm not looking for their political analysis. Do you think a lot of people are doing that?
Yes, because obviously when you do a Google search, what's the first result you're generally going to get? Google gives you Wikipedia. It's just the algorithms right there. So almost whatever you put in somebody's name, you put in a political event, the first link you're probably going to get is to Wikipedia. So that's really important. And then it says, which sources do they use? And yes, overwhelmingly, they're going to use these liberal media sources. You know, when we were kids and we were reading the World Book, it didn't have a bunch of footnotes necessarily, but it was pretty straightforward and cut and dried. I think when you look at Wikipedia articles, like the Wikipedia article on the Media Research Center, it's going to have a bunch of liberal things in it. That they're, controversies,
Right.
Obviously, I did something earlier this year where I looked at the news networks, Fox and MSNBC and CNN, and they went to Fox News having a defamation suit right up top. CNN settled a defamation suit. That's like in paragraph 56. I mean, so these are the sorts of things they overwhelmingly favor. Yeah, the New York Times, AP, the Washington Post, and then the conservative sites are way, way down there. So yeah the New York Times is like 1.6 million, and the New York Post is like 41,000. That's like 41 to 1. So that's what you get.
Do you think that Wikipedia editors or owners are doing it on purpose?
Yes. Remember, it used to be in the early days where like any schmo who got registered, you'd be a registered user and you could get in there and try to put sentences or paragraphs in there and see if they'd be accepted. It's a much more top-down enterprise now. And, when we get in there and we search it, yeah, it's obviously intentional. And it is really the same thing we find when our team's been studying Google News, Apple News. When you go into these aggregators, you're going to overwhelmingly get the so-called trusted sources, the New York Times, CNN, NPR. That's what they're going to give you on any breaking news story. And Wikipedia is just sort of doing the same.
So people don't know this. They go in, they read this stuff, they believe it. A lot of them, they're not skeptical. And then this helps the progressives and the Democratic Party. And that's the game. The fix is in, right?
Yeah, and if I was a high school teacher, I would say I don't want any Wikipedia citations, no footnotes from Wikipedia. But I mean, you could just as well cite the footnotes that Wikipedia actually uses and says, I'm good. I cited the New York Times, but it's, this is one of those first places that people go. And yeah, you're right. If you're just searching for something like who won Super Bowl 41, you're going to get straight up facts. But on any contentious political actor or political issue, you're going to get a lot of spin.
Right. Or personalities. They'll pump up progressive personalities and pump down conservatives. Now, sometimes AI comes up, for a summation of a subject. Is that accurate?
No, because again, a lot of these AI bots, and now we're comparing Elon Musk Grok maybe to some of these others, the Chat GPTs, the Google Geminis. But what are they using for their sources? I mean, when you do a Google search, you'll get that too. It's going to be, we just looked at the New York Times and these sorts of trustworthy outlets to put together our AI answer to you. So it's the same problem all over the place.
Okay. Is there any solution to the problem, Tim?
Well, I mean, again, sometimes maybe we'll try to see if Grokipedia is better than Wikipedia or Grok AI is better than the other ones. We always just say, yeah, there's a lot of conservative media out there now that you can get your information from. And of course, the liberals will all say, you can't trust any of that. But you certainly can. And when we do the numbers on these things, we demonstrate it. It's factual. You might not like the numbers, but the numbers are the numbers.
Okay, but an outlet like Newsmax or Fox News, they do ignore stories on occasion that are unflattering to the right or President Trump, correct?
I imagine that's true, yes. And the reverse is true, right? So the CBS and ABC and NBC don't want to do the negative stories on Democrats. I would say this: you were talking about Trump's statement on Rob Reiner. Fox was on that, and they did not like it.
Well, they were on it, but they didn't contextualize it. They virtue signaled it, didn't they? Well,
it's easy to virtue signal, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but look, that's not reporting.
Who thinks that was a
Tim?
good idea?
That's not reporting. All right.
Yeah.
The reason that Donald Trump made the statement is that he is so angry. It's us against them. It's me and my White House against all those media people, all of them. Okay, and whatever I have to do to bring them down, I'm going to bring. Now that's the context of the remark. Doesn't justify the remark. But that context completely lost on why this is happening. It's what I do. It's why I'm successful. But I saw some of the conservative coverage. It wasn't just Fox either. It was a bunch of conservative outlets all across the spectrum. Virtue signaling. That's all it was. It wasn't anything like, well, why did the guy do this? Why does he continue to do it? Explain it so that people even know about it. That's not justifying. Last word.
I think it's interesting that at least in the coverage I've seen of this horrible death of Rob Reiner, they really aren't focusing on, they'll say he was a Democratic donor, but they're certainly not going to say he's controversial the way that Charlie Kirk was portrayed as controversial. Right. Rob Reiner was too.
Way more. What Rob Reiner did in his life with the People for the American Way and all that, but I'm not going to go in on Reiner. I'm not. He's a private citizen. He can do whatever he wants to do. He was murdered, and that was horrible, as I said. And I'm going to leave it alone for now. But if you know how extreme Reimer was, but that, again, does not justify what happened. Tim, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Good work, Tim. I got to tell you, we follow you now all the time because the stuff is real.